headed for phase 2. Injectors have been installed. Now it's getting Pegasus on the dyno, getting ready for the tune. One refresher for you guys. The tune is just to recalibrate the computer, make sure the air to fuel ratio is correct, getting as much power as we can out of Pegasus, but still making it drive reliably. Okay, that's the thing. Raw power, but power being used very efficiently. So got our new E85 ready injectors. So these are our 47-pound injectors from Ford Performance. We had put in, took off the fuel rails and all of that. Now that we got all that done, got the new fuel injectors on, now the car is ready to handle the E85. We're gonna go ahead and tune it, see how much power we're putting down. Last tune, I'll see if when I edit this video, I'll put the old numbers back up. But last tune we had, this is about a month ago, we were putting about 397 down to the wheel. This tune, we're gonna see what we pull out of it. I'm hoping high. I'm gonna say 415. Chris, what's your guess? We had 397 last time. What do you think you can pull out? 415? Ooh, I'm so good at this. So we're gonna see. Pegasus is about to be awakened. This is the beginning of phase 2. So he's got Pegasus all strapped down to the dyno. I'm explaining this one more time for those of you that don't know what's going on. What we have to do is strap the car down to the dyno to hold it steady, because it's gonna sit on this treadmill like disc right here. The wheel is gonna sit there, it's gonna spin. This is a rear wheel drive vehicle, so that means that the rear wheels power the vehicle to move forward or back. That's why only the rear wheels are on this type of treadmill that you're looking at here. As the car spins, this is gonna spin with it just like a treadmill. Now, we have the computer hooked up to the car. He's got it plugged in there to have power. And then it runs back up in here into his computer and his tuner. So this allows him to tune the vehicle with the proper air to fuel ratio, so that we'll have power increase with the new fuel injectors that we added. We added these fuel injectors so we'd be able to run E85. E85 is basically a different octane type of fuel. There are some pros and cons to running E85. The pros to running E85 is that it's going to give your car more power. And how it allows the car to have more power is that it runs cooler than the gasoline. E85 is a mix of ethanol and gasoline, corn fuel if you will. With the E85, it also burns cleaner. So it actually kind of cleans the engine and all the exhaust as it burns out. Kind of downfall, it burns a lot faster than 93 or regular gas does. But I mean, I got a Mustang. If you got a sport car, I mean, you're really not worried about miles per gallon. Anybody that's a real sport car fanatic is not worried about, oh, what's my miles per gallon in this thing? Because it's really like 0. But anyways, that's why we're doing the fuel injectors. That's why we got it on the dyno. Got to reprogram the computer so we're getting a proper air to fuel ratio on this thing and making sure we can get as much power out of Pegasus as possible, but still make him reliable to drive. That's the biggest thing. A lot of guys want the most power they can get, but their car is running all rough and is not too reliable. It's banging the gears real hard. A great thing I can say about Chris over here at Hyman Racing Dynamics is that when I got my first tune, felt the power difference right off the back. The shifts were very smooth. The shifts were actually better than stock on that. I had no problems with the way the car shifted. Didn't even seem like I was going as fast as I was going once I got to speed with how the vehicle shifted. But anyways, I was more than pleased and more than satisfied with the first tune, but as any Mustang owner, we want more power. So we're back with the E85 with the fuel injectors to see what we can get going on this thing. So let's see what we got. Once Chris is all ready to go, we'll see what type of power we're putting down. I wanted to do one base run with no recalibrations or anything, just to make sure we're still hitting 397 to the wheels. And then after that, we'll see what the new numbers are. I'm guessing 415. He's saying probably 420. The other guy said 410, so I'm gonna say 415. That's what we're shooting for here. If he can get more out of it, I'll be more than pleased. We're getting ready to do a new base run. Let me know when you get ready to punch it, and I'm gonna stand outside. Getting ready to do a base run to see how much power the 93 is putting down right now. Make sure it's still 397 or more than 397. I'm hoping a little bit more than 397. We're gonna find out. And after that, E85, and we're gonna see what the difference is. Update. We recalibrated the computer to recognize the new fuel injectors. Since that's all we had to do, we actually didn't have to retune 493. We only have to tune for E85. Once we told the computer, hey, we got these type of fuel injectors, boom, that's set. So now what he's currently doing, he's pulling out the remainder of the 93 premium octane, pulling that out so that we can go ahead and pump the E85 in here, do about 3 hard pulls and see what kind of power we're making. Since Pegasus was a little hot and it didn't sit like it did the last time, we're currently making 385 at the wheel and 362 at the torque. So when the car is hot, you've been running all day, looks like we lost maybe 12 horsepower, which really ain't that big of a deal. And the first one we was able to pull last time when we came in, you know, the car sat. So last time we were hitting 397, which is what you're seeing at the top to the wheel, and 373 on the torque. So Pegasus didn't get to sit as long this time. It's running about 12 horsepower less to the wheel since it's been running all day, and about 11 less on the torque. Not a big deal, like I said. It's not that much of a difference. That's why we're going E85 anyways, because when you're running E85, won't make much of a difference because that E85 is going to keep the engine running a lot cooler. So the car is going to run a lot more efficient with the E85 in there. So as soon as he gets back with the E85, this should be done pumping the 93 in, and we'll go ahead and pump the E85 into the car, retune the car, and then we'll be ready to roll. Got the 93 completely drained. Just got the E85 pumped in. Just uploaded the first tune for it. This is going to be his base tune, and we're going to see how much power Pegasus is putting down. Right now he's just checking to make sure everything looks good before he goes and does the first pull. Looking at the numbers, checking the air to fuel ratio, and some other stuff. He's doing some stuff. I don't know what the stuff is. What stuff we got going on here?
Just watching short-term fuel trim so we know when all the 93s burnt out and the E85s.
Okay.
It takes a while to burn it all out.
Gotcha. So you heard it. Just making sure all the 93 burns out and we're full 85 before we start pulling and all that. Just giving it a second to run through the system, and we're gonna see what we're putting down. One more time. Last time I was here, we were doing 397 to the wheel. That was why Pegasus was still running fairly cool. This time I've been driving around. We're doing about 385 to the wheel right now, 362 to the torque. Now this is before the 85. We're gonna see what the 85 is doing in a second. Looking at 404. This is baseline tune with 376 on the torque. All right, and that's the first pull. Now keep in mind, I do have 20s on here. The 18s probably would pull a lot more harder, but you know, it's a show car, so it ain't all about that. I'm looking for a nice healthy blend. So 404. We're getting close to what I guesstimate. I guesstimated 415. We're gonna see if we're able to pull that out. 404 on power, 376 on torque. Let's see what we get. Right now, it is 98 degrees outside with 37% humidity. Now imagine what kind of power this car is gonna be pushing when it gets cold outside. Oh, 406.82. So we're looking at a gain about 9.5 horsepower, and we're looking at a gain of about 10 foot-pounds of torque on the torque. We went from 373.6 to 383.2. Look at that. Yep, there it is, the official right there. Got a gain of 9.5 horsepower, might as well say 10. Yep, 9.5 horsepower gain and a big difference in foot-pounds of torque for today. Originally, we had a 10-pound or foot-pounds of torque increase from the original tune, the original 93 tune. This is just the tune from today. You're looking at the 93 tune from today, and that is a big increase here. So imagine if it was the same temperature today as it was when I first got the car tuned. So we're gonna get the printout, and we'll be ready to roll. I'll give you guys my input on how the drive goes. It's been about a week or 2 weeks since the E85 tune, and I'm absolutely loving it. I couldn't be more happy with this tune, y'all. But a couple things about the E85 I would like to say. If you are going E85, make sure you do your research. Make sure you do your research and you know where you can get E85 at in your area, because with a lot of places E85 may be very scarce. A lot of people told me out here in Houston that, oh yeah man, there's plenty of E85 everywhere. It's really not. It took me about an hour of searching. When I first got the E85 that night, I was just riding around trying to figure out where I can get E85 from. Just in Houston, if you're in Houston, Texas watching this video, I know there's certain places like most raceways will have the E85. Also, if you have a Stripes or Conoco gas station, you can check there. There is in Spring, Texas, which is like north side Houston. They tend to have E85 at the Valero gas stations, and where the Circle K and those are united, typically by the freeway. So those are a couple gas stations to kind of give you guys some help on where you can start your search when looking for E85. Another thing about the E85 is it burns a whole lot faster. I mean, if I'm on 93 with a full tank of gas, I'm probably looking at 200, maybe 68 plus miles to E in the Pegasus. If I'm on 85, however, I'm looking at about only 180 miles to E, or a little bit less, give or take, depends on how much I've been driving and how hard I've been driving. But definitely a dramatic decrease in miles per gallon efficiency. So that's some cons with it there. But some pros about that E85, major power boost. The torque on this car, the initial torque is just insane. I did some racing in Mexico after I got the E85 tuned, and that first and second gear was nuts, man. I'm telling you, first gear was instant, just like that. First gear was done. I'm in second, and it was crazy. The first two races, I missed the shift twice. That's how crazy it was. And the torque was so nuts when I literally floored and opened that throttle, wide open throttle. My tires are literally spinning from first to second, and it evens on out about third gear. Prior to this tune, I didn't have to get my tires hot. I didn't have to burn out before I launched my vehicle because the traction was just that great. With the 20s by 10.5s on the back, with the Michelins, they were doing their job. But with the new torque that I have now, with this added power, I'll have to burn out my tires, get them hot before I race, so the rubber gets hot and sticky now on the launches. But that's fine. I'm actually happy knowing that now, that I actually got some real torque. So that really shows me the difference and tells me that the torque has dramatically increased. Happy with the E85. The E85 is just fantastic. It's also great for the engine, so it's good to clean it up. But typically how I've been doing it the past 2 weeks is if I'm driving around, riding around, cruising, I do my 93, ride around with that. It lasts a little bit longer. And when I get ready to race, I'll go ahead, dump that 93, and I'm rolling on E85. So all in all, guys, the 85 tune was amazing. The car is phenomenal. The power with the 85 is great. The power with the 93 is great. I'm actually gonna have to go back to the dyno because every time I seem to go get this car dyno tuned, I have a freaking exhaust leak. So when I got the 93 tune last month, the left side where the header and the mid pipe meet, those bolts had come completely off right before I had to go to the dyno. So I actually wasn't at full power with that exhaust leak. So I'm gonna have to see what that 93 tune looks like again. So also this time I did some racing in Mexico before I went back to the shop to get the 85 tune. And what happened is, now that the left side was fixed, the right side bolts came completely off. So after I got the 85 tune, I immediately found a shop that could fix that for me. Same thing happened on the right side where the header and the high flow cats meet, the bolts came completely off. So we had to tighten those back down, and instantly I felt the power in the car rejuvenate. I mean, it's amazing. I love all the power that I'm getting out of this car. So be on the lookout for another E85 dyno pull and also a 93 dyno pull. We're gonna have to go back to the dyno and see how much power we're actually making with the exhaust leaks fixed. So now I'm kind of curious. I think I'm actually gonna hit my exact target numbers I intended to hit the first time I went to the dyno. So we're gonna see how that turns out. I'm highly confident that I'll get the numbers I intended on hitting on both E85 tune and the 93 tune. All in all, man, tune's great. I'm loving it. Pegasus has got so much more power in it, but you know it doesn't stop there. I got more performance mods to do. Be on the lookout for those. I got some more cosmetic upgrades to do that I'm working on that y'all will see soon enough, but I'm not gonna reveal until they're done. So wait patiently on that. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be after I drop the 2 new dyno pull videos. But all in all, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure y'all hit the like button at the bottom of this video so these videos can start making some moolah. I love y'all. And before I close out this video today, I'm gonna show you guys one of my race clips from Mexico with the new E85 tune so you guys can see what Pegasus looks like in action once I got my shifts down. So with all that being said, I love you guys. Thank you. God bless and Godspeed everybody. We out.